Boom! Hello and welcome to the Executive Protection Lifestyle Podcast with your host, Byron Rodgers. This podcast is dedicated to the executive protection practitioner, the private security professional. In this podcast, we're going to talk about the mental, emotional, psychological, physiological fitness that goes into being an efficient and effective executive protection agent. Whether you're in law enforcement, whether you're a mom that's looking at how to protect her children, or a father that's focused on how to protect his family, I believe this podcast has something for all of you. We might even get into some tales from the crypts of true Hollywood stories from time to time. I'm doing this podcast because I feel the reality of this job is simple. If you really want to be good at executive protection, it's more than just a job. It really is a lifestyle. And those of you who've been in the game for any serious amount of time, you already know what I'm saying is true. So if that sounds interesting to you, enjoy the show. Out. Boom. What's up, you guys? Byron Rodgers here once again. And today I got one of my good friends and a dude I work a lot with, Aaron Mauldin, up in the game. It's an honor to have you here again, brother.
Thanks for having me, man.
Heck yeah, man. So, as I think I've mentioned before, I've worked quite a bit with Aaron with a number of large events. But we've just been kind of swimming around in the same water and, you know, keeping in contact with each other and working on and off with each other in this game for a few years now. So when I thought of this topic, one person came to mind for sure, which the topic is going to be branding. But nonetheless, I know I'm not going to introduce you as well as you introduce yourself. So yeah, man, tell us a little bit about yourself, brother.
Hey everyone, I'm Aaron Mauldin. I'm currently Executive Protection Operation and Training Manager for AS Solution, which is one of the largest EP firms in North America. My background is obviously served a little time in the God-loving Marine Corps as a lean, mean, shitbag Marine, literally.
Rah.
From there, for the last 13 years, I've been truly blessed on working protection operations on an international level, from A-list celebrities to movie productions, high net worth individuals, corporations, an OGA, and I even joke around even equestrian horses. So that's just kind of that's it. But the last 10 have been in project management or a leadership position, to include I've set up, implemented, and ran over 250 training programs in the private sector for that time.
That's what's up. Even equestrian horses. That's cool, man.
That's another time. That's pretty interesting.
Right. So, when did this whole EP thing actually happen for you? Where did this come from?
Yeah. So I actually just talk about my third episode of The Truth About Executive Protection. But I was a limo driver. When I got out of the Marine Corps, I didn't know what to do. My buddy Ronnie had a limo company. I was 26, and I was actually the youngest limo driver in Vegas at that time. There was only 70 of us before CLS came in and flooded the market. But that's where I think I learned service for the client, vehicle setup, how to look and look the part, work the part. And during that time, being flexible, it allowed me to go to school, go to as many training schools as I could. I was trying to break in the industry, and actually Detail from your area came in, and they're using me as their contract driver for their advanced team. I was like, hey, who are you guys? What are you doing? Why are you counting steps? And this is before, smartphones and technology. So we were doing it the OG way, right? So, and just being me, it's like, how long is it going to take to get to Caesars? And I'm like, well, it's, 3/4 of a mile with 4 stoplights. We hit all stoplights. It's going to be X amount of time because each top, and he's just looking at me, he goes, how do you know this? I'm at the time I called myself the limo master, right? So I was always betting clients, my high net worth clients, that I can get them there and saving time. They're always betting and gambling because it's Vegas, right?
That's what's up.
That's when I learned about EP. Is I started getting more and more of these advanced teams coming in and driving these teams and getting to know the game. And then they told me about ESI. I went out there and did their full EP online course or distance learning, and then I went to their 30-day PSD course, and then from there I got out and I think I sent out 89 resumes with nothing back, right? So I'm young, I'm eager. But it was actually the alumni network that was an old Google or Yahoo chat that I got my first gig doing RST, but it's all about the hustle, right? So even though I was either driving limos or working part-time as residential security, I went and literally applied to every security company, G4S, SOS.
There it is.
Yeah, uniforms.
There it is.
This is what I can offer you. This is what I can do. And, hey, I'll get a call. Hey, we got a Rolex or a jewelry rep coming in. They need arms transport. Pick them up from the airport, take them to the meetings, and take them back to the airport. And I would even do stuff where, they would have workplace violence. So I'd be at a standing halls and walls and static for 8 hours a day. But the thing is that I put myself out there. Vegas is big. I kind of built a reputation, which helped me move to other aspects of getting into executive protection.
Heck yeah, dude. There it is, man. There's that common thread. I get asked this question all the time, like, yo, how do you get into the game? I'm like, how many companies do you apply to, man? You know what I'm saying? Like,
And it's like, I'll be working with guys. So I'm like, dude, like, how did you get here? I applied.
Right.
Like guys that were slugs, like they had no reason being here. And I'm like, hey man, like, how'd you get in this detail? As if I applied.
Like, you're literally asking them because they suck. You're like, how did you even, why are you here with me right now? And they're like, I just,
People getting on those new details, like, I was a sponge, man. Like I said before, I'm blessed because I've worked with so many talented people.
Yeah.
And, it's just like, just learning from them and taking away from their experiences. And I think what makes our industry so unique that every detail is different because it's based on company culture, the client, the budget, the threat level. So you can be, you got guys that are just like overzealous. I'm like, hey, dude, there's not pursuing doom chasing us around. Like, no one knows who the client is. We're just here to mitigate risk and
facilitate trash.
Yeah, facilitate a streamless line of service getting to and from. So,
right.
But I think, working hard, it's funny because when we look back, like, it's what we have to do to get in and then sustain, right? And train. But I think when we start off in our young days, we were all about the hard skills, right? Like, driving and shooting, I'm going to surveillance, and we're
Hondo rolls,
all this cool stuff. And then I go to a corporate job and I'm getting ate up because I don't have corporate etiquette. My communication skills were bad. And that's what a big thing that I'm doing within the global training is I'm removing all military and law enforcement lingo from our curriculum to help better prepare people for the private sector. So when a client goes, hey, we want to, hey, we want to put our guys through a CQB course. Well, my corporate terminology for CQB is structural clearing.
It's so PC. It makes me a little bit sick, but it's awesome because what you're doing is smart. You know what I mean? Like, I've said it before. I'll say it again. I've seen good warriors lose in this game because they couldn't get the finesse together. You know what I'm saying? And they couldn't refocus their optics on what was really important now. And it's tragic, man. I'd go into a house with this guy, but he's going to get himself killed on this detail.
And I think that's why, now when I started, there was no social media, right? There was just MySpace. Now we got LinkedIn, we got, Facebook. LinkedIn right now, for all you guys are watching, if you don't have a LinkedIn account, you're trying to break in the industry, work in the industry, or survive and thrive, you have to have a LinkedIn account. And there's, I know you want to get into the branding, so I don't want to start.
We will flow with it. We just flow with it.
I can't harp on having a LinkedIn account, and it's easy. The best way to build a successful LinkedIn account is open a page.
Do it. Actually do it.
Complete the page.
Yep. All the way finished.
And then I have what I call my morning high performance habits rituals, which I spend 15 minutes every morning on LinkedIn. And what I do is you got to have that engagement piece. So you set up a page, right? You complete the page, and then 15 minutes of hey, let's connect. So I would go to, go to SOS or Gavin Becker or AS Solution, and I'd see all the employees and I would connect. I'd spend 15 minutes every morning. So last year when I finally got around to really getting into my LinkedIn account, because obviously I was big on Facebook, but I needed into that, I had 718 connects on LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
To date, I have 8,000. And those are all people within the security industry, within the industry, and just, connect with them. And the big thing too is what we've talked about is if you don't put yourself out there, you're not going to know. And a lot of people are scared to ask questions or, hey, write a blog. LinkedIn has articles. So if you get on my LinkedIn page, I think I have almost 30 something articles that I've written. Crayon. And then I had to have someone go back and simplify. But no, that's an important piece.
No, 100%, man. Like, oh man. And when it comes to getting out there, there's just so much to be said, man. Like the LinkedIn piece is huge. I think LinkedIn is your digital resume. You know what I'm saying? Like that is first contact very often. And that thing's gotta be cleaned up. That's gotta be done right. If you don't know how to get it done right, go on Fiverr or go somewhere and find a professional and get it done right. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and I can barely read and write, man. So
I'm with you.
And Fiverr, if you guys don't know, that is a great resource. But most important on your LinkedIn page, when you do a picture, I don't know what it is with the security. He's driving with his phone, and he has this right? Hey, just stand behind a white or a solid wall. With iPhones, you have the portrait mode. Take a picture of yourself smiling. So
be friendly.
Be friendly, because I want to know that you're not just some cyborg from the planet Alderaan.
Knuckle dragger, tough guy.
Yeah, and also too, when we talk about, that's a big thing that I've talked about. Guys are like, I'm just a knuckle dragger. Well, if you say that, you're letting people. That's what you perceive yourself, and that's all you're ever going to be. Mm-hmm. For instance, if we were side client, I'm going into the city and I need some support agents, I need some support drivers, and I reach out to a company like, hey, these are your 4 guys. The first thing we're going to do is get on LinkedIn. And I'm going to make sure that what they're providing me is in line with what they have on LinkedIn. And the biggest thing is I will look at their training and their experience. But what I'm most important looking for is those LinkedIn skills that say, I've taken a class in emotional IQ. I have soft skills in public speaking, and LinkedIn Learning is probably the best source right now. If you get on my LinkedIn page, you'll see some of the classes like, how to lead leaders and how to manage difficult people and all those stuff that really work. And it's $500 a year. There's over 10,000 classes, and you can do stuff from security to how to understand emotional IQ at a basic to advanced level in the corporate space. There's a class on that. I took a class on how to converse with the executive. One of my clients, it's literally changed the dynamic of how we interact, because this client probably gets 500 to 1,000 emails a day, right? So when he asks me something, I'm like, oh, well, I write this big dissertation. This is what we're going to do. He doesn't read it. So literally, I just if he sends me an email, I answer it in the subject line and hits, because that's all he's going to see. So there's different levels of...
It's like ad copy for CEOs.
Yeah. So, can't harp it enough. Get on there, look at the classes. You can do a mobile app. So like if I'm flying on a plane, I can download the class. You have to there's a test. So you have to pass. And then it prints you a cert with your name on it.
Man, okay. Yo, that's huge. You just said like 3 huge things. I didn't want to interrupt you, but like this whole LinkedIn Learning thing, I didn't even know about the LinkedIn Learning thing. So you can take classes...
all my posts.
Yeah, I know, right? You can take classes, and then LinkedIn essentially gives you a certification and basically puts on your digital resume that you completed these classes.
Yeah, and it builds that. When we talk about building a brand, it actually improves. Like when you look on someone's LinkedIn page, you can see those courses. It's highlighted in their skill set.
Nasty. That's so good. And it shows the person's interests. It shows where their mind's at. It shows the type of things they're training. So like if you're trying to demonstrate value or like validate yourself in a specific way, you can take these courses and you're putting skin in the game. You know what I'm saying? First of all, you're dedicated to learning $500 a year. So you're not messing around. Second of all, you're actually doing these courses and getting the certification and passing the comprehension test at the end of them. Like that's a way to shine. These days, if you want to shine, You just got to work a little bit harder than everybody. Nobody, like everyone's so soft. All you got to do is put in a little bit of work and you look like a demigod out here. You know what I'm saying?
And the key thing is, like I've said before, where it's just, I'm trying to pull it up on my phone, but yeah, like, so setting team goals, being a good mentor, developing competitive strategy, process improvement foundations. Like you can, like, if you want to start a membership company, there's business basics. Like I want to build a membership based organization on the internet. They have classes for that. The great thing about it is, let's say you're moving into management and you really got to start doing budget projections for your team, for your training and your travel. You can go on and take a advanced Excel training class and you actually get a Microsoft certification. So that's awesome. Your resume, right?
Yeah. And you're trying to get into this game, man, like you guys need to, if you're trying to get into this game, I would suggest you get out there and start hammering on all those LinkedIn learning wickets, man. Like, get an EP course, school under your belt. But now, and then I can speak for myself as well when I'm looking at guys and I'm suggesting guys and pushing guys and staffing with things. I'm looking for guys that also have those soft skills. I know for a fact, me putting on that, I have a background in psychology, the strategic interventionist stuff that I got certified with through Tony Robbins and all that type of stuff.
Yeah. Solid, dude.
Has gotten me play in the game. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to go crush some of that LinkedIn stuff, you know.
Class is like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, somewhere an hour. Actually, there's printable docs. So, you know, coming in on the training piece, right? Like, hard skills, 100%. You got to understand there's two components. You got to have those hard skills. So we know that you know how to, you know,
bang, run, jump,
take care of yourself. You have the mental capacity to deal with situations, but you know, that is important. That's 1% of the job. 99% of the job, you're communicating, you're writing reports, sending emails, talking with clients. You know, a big thing is, you know, we talk about the power of persuasion or social engineering, right? That's
influence.
Yeah. And so almost 8 years ago, I was honored to work with a retired Secret Service guy, and we were doing advance, and he just retired. Like, hey, this guy got, so I'm like, man, I'm gonna learn so much from this guy. Like, this is well, he didn't have this badge to flash around anymore to get anything done. And he didn't really have the emotional IQ or the social skills to meet people to get things done, because when we go in, we can't, like, even if we told him who our client was, no one would know anyway. So it wasn't like of importance. We just had to get things done, and he struggled a little bit. So that was a big thing where, you know, he realized, I'm like, hey,
different game.
Toastmaster course.
Yeah.
Local Toastmaster. So if you're not a good communicator, or, you know, you're afraid of public speaking, where you got to get over that, because, you know, you're a representation of your client, the way you speak to yourself and the relationships that you build, you know, especially, you know, like when we work together, we go to the same cities, same venues all the time. So we built that relationship. So when we go in there, like, everything, we'll fight to get things done. Right.
Yeah. 100%. And like, I mean, I've said it, I'll say it again, when you're dealing with all the different factors that need to come together in order to make the detail work, that FBO person, like, they're your client for that couple minutes while you're talking to them. The chicks at the front desk at the hotel, the concierge lady, like, you need to have them understand very quickly that you guys are all on the same team. You're no better than them, and that you guys got to work together to get this thing done. Like, the social influence of it is huge, you know? So if looking at executive protection as a whole, hard skills, soft skills, all of it as a whole, what would you say, what does executive protection essentially mean to you? What does it mean to you, Bo?
Well, basically, I call it your executive protection. My term is you're a high-speed administrative assistant that specializes in risk mitigation and security.
Yeah.
That's my definition. Because the point is that we know, you know, we're not like working in, you know, Beirut or Bogota or Iraq or Afghanistan, where the threat level is so high you can kind of dictate how things go. But in the corporate realm, when you're dealing with a billionaire, where that time is money, right? So the main job is like, when we go on that detail, just like with you, we have to make their point A to point B to point C fluid, that they're, and so they can focus on their job, not getting stuck in traffic, bad routes, getting dropped, lost in venues, etc. So that's the service standpoint. We're providing a service so they can fully focus on their business. So as EP agents, we're actually a micro business, right? So if there's 10 of us, we're 10 individual micro businesses, right? Because we all at one point touch or connect with the client. And the service that we provide makes our clients able to do more and be more productive. For instance, when I talk about that service, South America, client had meetings down there. Traffic was like terrible.
Horrible. I've been down there.
So that's a venue. It'll take 2 hours to get there.
Even with a police escort, it still sucks.
Yes, we didn't have that. So trying to get back and forth. So, if we had 8 trips, eight meetings for that trip, I'm losing, it's taking me 24 hours, which is literally almost 3 days to try to advance 8 meetings in one town. And, so what we did was we pitched to use helicopters.
Yep.
So now we use a helicopter from the hotel. They land at a location. We have a car stage there, and it goes.
Yep.
And that client that turned those 8 meetings, he literally was able to double his meetings because we provided a solution. It was a very costly solution, but when you're a billionaire doing big meetings, trying to grow your company, squeezing in 16 meetings versus 8 is a value of that service.
Absolutely, 100%. No, I couldn't agree more with any of all that, man. Like, and being able to come up with those solutions that aren't so like hardcore, like, hey, we can do this better this way. You know what I'm saying? And I think that those things also speak to your brand. So we'll get back on branding now. That was a little rabbit hole there. But so why is branding important for the individual agent?
Well, now we'll talk about 2 brands. There's guys like you and I that are always putting content out. We're articles, we're doing podcasts, and we're building that. Then there's other like, hey man, I don't want to do that. Well, your brand could just be as simple as having a professional LinkedIn page, because when you apply for a job or you're maybe hired on as a contractor to support a team, that's where they're going to look. That's their first impression of you. Okay. Mm-hmm. So that's why I think it's very, very crucial. And, it's one of those things too, is like, hey, I'm the big bearded, dude, like, hey, trim it up. Is that really going to work in the corporate environment? If that's what you're shooting for, if you're working overseas, whatever, it's not a big deal, client dictates. But branding as simple that the brand start should be a LinkedIn page, and then share your thoughts and insights. When you see an article that really sits with you about security lighting or travel or EP, share it.
Yeah. And also, bro, on the articles, man, like, demonstrate value. Share articles that you think are solid because it says something about where you're at, and you're contributing. You're contributing to your little tribe of people who are following you on LinkedIn. And when people come to look at your page, they can see the types where your head's at based on what you're contributing. And then also like and comment, man. Like and comment on industry subject matter and articles, because other people are going to see what you have to say, and you're hopefully going to be demonstrating value. You know what I mean? I think that's huge, man. And get in this space and start making waves, get in the space, start showing up in the space online of EP. I guess, for me, the reason it's important is because at the beginning of my career, I spent a lot of time with one client, and I really am thankful to this client. I love this client, but a lot of the reasons I was the way I was with the client and was because I was married to that. I didn't know. I knew that I was 1% of the security industry, and there weren't a lot of contracts like this around, and I knew I didn't have access to them. So I was married to this one client. You know what I mean? And I was like, if this doesn't work, I don't have anywhere else to go. I don't know anything else.
And that's that
or how to acquire any more clients. You know what I mean?
For self-preservation, right?
Right? And so one of the reasons I believe it's so important to get your branding right is because when your branding is correct, you can find yourself in a position to have access to more clients, to have access to more details, to have access to more companies.
Elijah Shaw, he's a perfect example of that type of branding. Like, he owns his space, like what you guys talked about, right?
Yeah.
And that's just going to drive him more and more business, and that reputation gets passed down. So when we first worked together, 3-4 years ago, I didn't apply. I got a call.
Right.
So the network's so small, and it's so crucial to reach out and link up with guys and get them, because you never know,
who's going to call you.
I met Elle maybe 2 or 3 years prior to that, and we talked, we drive, we had a good time. And then 3 years later, I get the call, and, we were on those multiple trips every year together.
Yeah. And that's the way things are rolling in this industry. It's there's I think I've talked about it before, but good dude currency. Like you hear about a guy, and your dude's telling you, yo, I got a dude, I got a guy, blah 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 blah, and you're like, okay. But when he stops and he says, he's a good dude, bro. This one's a good dude. You're like, he's a good dude. All right, bet he's in. You know what I mean? But
yeah, it's like he's one of us. And
exactly.
So this is the way I'll break it down. That's good, because I'll say, like, yeah, hey, I break down 2 things. Like, hey, this guy's good, and this guy's one of us.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's true.
We can survive after work or in our social circle that we have on our team, right? Our little culture where another guy, I'm like, I will go do a good job. But I think that's what we talk about, that fit. And building a brand is going to allow those managers or potential clients to see if you're a right fit for their family, for their company culture, for their corporation.
Yeah.
Like right now, I would probably struggle working for a hedge fund client in Atlanta, Georgia. That's the base, right? So it's just, it's knowing your fit and looking the part that you're going after. So if you're working for, a young billionaire client in Palo Alto, you're probably blending in with his, probably wearing skinny jeans and Vans, and just like when we first, this is a good part. When the first detail I worked on with you, when I went out to Dallas, Elle was like, "You're fine." I'm like, "Hey, what is everyone wearing?" Because I was going in blind, right?
Right.
Guys, and I looked like at that time an RE catalog, right? I'm out, my cool slack pants and a flannel and my Solomon's, right?
Yeah, yeah.
There, and then you all roll up, and I'm like, oh snap! I'm casual, but I'm sticking out. So
yeah,
when we dropped the client, I went right on Amazon Prime and overnighted pair of dark denim jeans, Chucks, and then I think it was like a gray Dickie button up that I fold up. So I was just like, boom! I was aware of what's around me, so I didn't want to be like, who's the new guy in the bright green flannel,
Right. So no, that's that kind of like, that's the thing. That's the flow, is like what you're putting out there. Anything online, you're attracting your tribe, and you're going to get what's in direct proportion to what you're putting out. You know what I'm saying? So like the type of content you're putting out, not that you have to be putting out high volumes of content, the types of things you're saying, the types of articles you're liking, if you're just a LinkedIn guy, the way you look in your picture is so stinking big. You know what I'm saying? All these things, you're putting out a message about your personal brand, and people are going to be looking at that to see, does this guy's personal brand fit into my professional culture, my professional brand? And that's the question you want to answer for them before they ever see your LinkedIn page. That's kind of the science. And that's why I think it's so important, is because if you can brand yourself well, now we have the internet where everyone's connected. It's not just the good old boys. Like, we're beyond MySpace now. You know what I mean? When some of you and Elle and other dudes talk about how you guys, used to roll on this MySpace and were putting yourselves out there back then.
Brandon's like, what music is on your cover page on MySpace?
You know what I'm saying? It's real. And if you do these things right, you can attract the type of client you're looking for, because we all have a type, man. We all have clients. It's like dating. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like a certain type. you are going to like a certain type based on where you are in your life at that time. You'll like a certain type. You know what I mean? Like, and it changes.
And having your brand, remember, you vet your clients too, right?
Yes.
So you're going after the clients that you want to work for. And a lot of times I've had clients, I'm like, this is not my lifestyle. I don't be out at 11 p.m. to 10 a.m., because they're big partiers and stuff. And they're like,
right.
That's not my lifestyle, right? And that's not the environment. So it actually building your brand and getting your experience in will allow you to choose the proper client so you can it's a marathon. It's not a sprint, right?
Yeah. Heck yeah.
And nothing's below your level. And that's,
right.
You guys are like, well, I only work for $500 a day. I've had guys that, called me here like, hey dude, I have a client in town and like, TMZ blasted out. Can you help me? I'm like, yeah, man, I'm free. Did I ask for money? No. But guess what?
Right.
I got to see how he worked, what made his client tick, how they roll. And I built experience on them, even though technically I probably have, 7-8 years more experience than him. He needed help. I knew the area. I went out and guess what? And he goes, hey, you need something. My boy's in Vegas where he's here. So then that network just slowly starts building and you start that Rolodex of agents.
And
We started, but like for us, we, for the last 10 years I didn't work for a company. I had 4 or 5 clients that I juggled back and forth, so it wasn't like I was stuck with one. So when one client was done traveling, I'd maybe get a call and I'd pick up another one and vice versa. And sometimes I wouldn't get calls at all. So I'd have to go out and see who's doing what out there to, a little money in the pocket to pay the bills.
Get stuff going. No, I dig it, man. And the thing too is like, in terms of building your brand, like there's the digital aspect of it, but then there's also the word of mouth aspect of it. You know what I'm saying? Like you may not have asked that guy like what the compensation is for the cookie burger, but what happened? You built like some social equity with him. You know what I'm saying? And now in his head, you got good dude currency. You know what I mean? So he's going to be like, yo, Aaron's a good dude. And then you get a call like a year later. He's like, yo, I got something. I need your help, bro. This is a big one. This is how you build your brand. And now you got disciples out there, free marketing, people out there being like, yo, this dude, he was a good dude. I worked with him, had his stuff dialed in, zipped up. It was a great detail. I want to work with this guy again. Let's bring him in on what we got going on. And so every time you go to a detail, do a good job because you're building your brand. You're sending agents back out into the game that you want to work for you. You know what I'm saying? And then anytime you go to a course, this is so crucial. These cats are going to get to see the way you work. They're going to get to see the way that you are under stress and everything else. Do a good job. Those dudes are going back out into the game. You want them to want to work with you. That is those two things, working on a new detail, a fresh detail with new agents and going to schools, I think are two of the most important and kind of easy ways to build your brand if you can just do a good job, stand out, be default respectful. You know what I'm saying?
And your training should never stop.
Yep.
Because 1, everything we do is perishable, right? But 2, every time you train, you're training with other people trying to break in, other people that are seasoned practitioners. So then like this, you may have a seasoned guy that's like, hey man, he's really squared away. You may have a job offer. Or I went through a course where I hired a guy and, on our team, and he's it's probably 12 years ago. And now he's working for us now because I met him at that course. We worked together for a year and then we had a position up and I'm like, hey bro, I know he does eat. And I didn't even talk to him for 3 or 4 years. Yeah, but networking at courses and showing that you can perform, that you're dedicated, you're investing money in yourself. Like what I'm talking about, like back for the last those 10 years, I didn't go on vacation. I went to, because I wanted to build my network. That was our social media back then, is going to these courses. And there's nothing wrong with going to the same, refreshing yourself with go to a different EP school every year. Well, I already been through that. Well, hey, for me being a training manager, I want to see how curriculum's delivered, how it's articulated, how they're applying their training program. Because we can take the same curriculum and you, me, and Elle can teach it, and it's going to be the same curriculum, but it's going to be delivered dramatically different because of our personalities, the way
our lens.
Yeah, lens, I like that.
Yeah, man. No, and that's really that's really huge, bro, because like I remember I was getting ready to go to a course a little while back. And one of my dudes was like, you ain't going to learn nothing from this dude. Don't go to the course. And I was like, look, bro, I'm not just going. First of all, I can learn something from anybody. I can learn something from anybody. But second thing I was thinking is like, I'm not just going here to like train, homie. You know what I'm saying? I'm widening my sphere of influence. That's what I'm doing. And that one course has fed me more than like, yo, I'm so glad I went to that course. There's so many things I'm able to do with my career right now because the people I met during that course. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, that's fire. What do you think about, why do you think so many practitioners don't put themselves out there?
Just maybe fear, maybe worried about negative backlash on what they on social media. Also, too, it may not just be in their DNA. They're a person, you know. So, and it's not really like just putting yourself out there. It's just polishing it up.
Yeah.
Take of what you have online, regardless of your personal Facebook page, it's your Instagram page, or LinkedIn. But like right now, I follow this guy on Instagram, right? And we know of each other, and he's in Southeast Asia, and I see him post and talk a lot. But now when I'm seeing this page, I'm like, dude, every time I see this guy post, he's training, he's out running, he's doing outdoor stuff.
That's the game.
But the great thing is, I know of this guy. I know he's in the industry, but like now that I'm following him on that, like I see what he's doing on his personal life and his lifestyle. I'm like, yeah, like me and that dude would probably get along really well. We'd probably work very well together.
He's living the executive protection lifestyle, son. That is what's up. No, it's big. I've had some of the coolest details. I was at the last presidential inauguration. It was like the coolest detail I've ever done because of the branding and social media. You know, I know that there's a negative stigma attached to social media. You know what I'm saying? And I know that it's not in everyone's personality to like go balls out, run around in the world on social media, you know? But I do think there's a lot to be said for it if it's done correctly, you know, and there's a thin line between doing it correctly.
You're taking pictures and doing all this stuff.
Yeah.
Don't do it while you're on detail and geotagging your location.
You're wrong.
My Adventures of EP Aaron on Instagram, that's 13 years of pictures. So those details are done, gone. Clients have moved on, and I don't have any pictures of clients, just locations. But it's a lifestyle because it's a lifestyle and a legacy. So, you know, like I can look back and go, wow, man, we did 24 countries in a year one time, right. 2 a month, right? And there's some guys I know that are doing 85 countries a year, right? So you got to capture, you know, part of that because also too, that kind of gives you a little bit. It shows that you're out and about and doing great things, right? But posting your client, your location, or that time. So stuff I'm posting from over a decade ago. Yeah. But now I have enough content.
That you can fire away for a while. OPSEC is huge. If you you can't be breaking OPSEC. Like, I will never post anything while I'm there ever. You know what I mean? I guess we can go into do's and don'ts. You know what I'm saying?
But you know, the perception when you do post are like, oh, should he be working? It's like, bro, that picture's from like 2 years ago. I just put it up and refresh it because it's safe to do so, right? But also too, it's building your brand, showing that you're out there doing the work, you're hustling.
Yep. Validating you're validating you as a professional.
And it's okay to delay that. So like right now, you know, I could, if all these pictures I have, I could be posting them up on my Facebook or my LinkedIn as if I was doing it now. It was actually 2 years ago and nothing's important, but it's showing like, hey, Aaron's experience. Why? Well, I seen pictures of him working in Pakistan, then he's in Bogota, and then he's in North Africa, and then he's in Bulgaria and Europe, and you know he lived in New York. So I seen pictures there, so he has a better lay of the land than we may have. So if you're a well-traveled agent, I think that's there's a lot of guys that are on details and they don't travel, and that's crucial to survive because you know how it is when you get like I've gotten dysentery, hit by stuff, and so. But being experienced, so that could be a whole nother thread talking about how do you do advances in travel for an agent. So we can have travel and safeguard a client on travel. Most important is like, how do you travel? What's the difference of traveling and doing work in South America versus Africa versus Southeast Asia versus, that's a big thing. So putting yourself out there, showing pictures, not, doing OPSEC.
Well, keeping your OPSEC. Yeah, man. Like, no tail numbers. Just don't ever show a tail number, dude. Yeah. I mean, nothing in real time. Just a few principles to consider when you're posting your stuff. Nothing sensitive. No license plates, no tail numbers. Nothing in real time ever. Scrub your photos so there's no geotag on them. If you put a geotag on it, do it later on, like a year later. And then like the one I posted last week, Istanbul. That's all it says. This dude was in Istanbul at some point. You know what I mean? And that was like 4 years ago. I get people hitting me up all the time. Yo, how was the Philippines? Oh, it was tight. That was like 5 years ago, but it was tight, man.
I enjoy following Elijah.
Yeah.
Him and Jordan and the Sandys, like, and the key thing is too, as part of branding, is having that eye, capturing that moment.
Yeah, that moment, man.
Build your profile and actually create a profile because you have great pictures, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or great videos.
Yeah. What about how do you feel about photos of agents and clients?
So this is the thing. Like, I'll see. No. I mean, there's like, if you look on TMZ, you're gonna see me with, people, but I don't go and repost those. In training, I may use them for training material.
Yeah.
Like, cause I know I see some guys on LinkedIn. They're like, oh, this was in the client who's NFL. I'm like, oh, that's a no, man.
Yeah.
So, that's if you have that, like, I've found there's pictures on the internet with me with high profile clients that are pretty cool pictures, but that's for my personal stash.
Mm-hmm.
For me, but 100% no, not on anything.
Ceasefire on that trash. Yeah, dude. Like,
videos with me in them that like TMZ posted, but I didn't reshare them. I was like, like that's kind of cool, but I'm not going like, hey, reshare, check this out, everyone.
Yeah, I think that's another piece to the OPSEC thing. Like, you might see pictures of me with like famous people. That's because I ran into them in a Burger King. And I was like, yo, this is
that's a good point, man.
And also, there are no pictures with me and my actual clients. Half the reason is because, like, when I'm sharing photos, I don't want you associating anything I share with an individual, with any individual. You know what I'm saying? So, once someone thinks they know who your client is, then they can start, everything you do must be doing it with that client and all this other stuff. And, they start, postulating and hypothesizing, so that's why I don't share any photos of me actually with my clients ever. And I think that's another piece to the OPSEC thing. Cause I was kind of kicking this around for a minute. Cause I was like, yo, these photos are public domain. You know what I'm saying? You moving with your client, it's public domain, but I think a question that guys have to consider when it comes to branding and posting this trash is, what's my client going to think if I'm posting whatever I'm about to post, and that's like a chief consideration if you want to stay in the game. What are other clients going to think when they look at my profile? Am I being respectful to their privacy and with their things and things like this? And
a lot of times too, you may, it's a lot of people are about selfies or getting a shot of them. Like, my signature, it's my feet.
Yeah.
So I'm at an airport. So it's a feet. So you're associating with location, but not a personal individual. But yeah. But I think we drove that home pretty good.
Okay. If you were going to say there was like specific principles that make an executive protection agent successful, what would you say those principles were?
Strive to be better every day.
Okay.
That's the biggest thing. Like, what can I do better tomorrow? Be thick-skinned.
Yes.
Like we talked about, if you screw up like your boss, you own it. If it doesn't happen again, be a team player. So I'll give last example. The detail we had our firefighter and our LE guy, right? T and D, right? When I first came on, everyone's like, hey, what's your background? What do you do? It was just like, hey, work on time. All I cared about was getting this stuff done. And we worked that entire week until I found out that, the high-ranking officer of the United States Marine Corps, reserve, and had it like a fucking idiot, like, because we were just working, we're so jived. Because the key thing is, like, I don't care what your background is, I just care that you do a good job.
Yeah, same here.
Right, so then, that's all I'm like, hey, man, because we're trying to like, hey, let's get this thing rolling. We can mash this up and smoke and joke when everything's done. But, now it's just do a good job. It doesn't matter what your background is, where you come from. All I care about is what you do now.
Yep.
You jive with the team.
Yeah, 100%.
Nothing is above. So if you're getting paid, if you're a high-end guy and you're getting paid and someone needs help and the budget's always this, no, I don't move for no less than X amount. You're wrong.
You have the wrong mentality.
Budget, and you have the time, you don't know what opportunities that work in that detail, taking a cut or giving up some school sweat, and the practitioner out. You never know where that may lead. Right now, I've met guys that I'm like, blah blah, and we knocked heads. We didn't dive, and 10 years later, I find out that they're going to be my boss.
Oh yeah, now that does happen because.
And then, when we met, I'm like, he's like, hey, man. And he's like, we were with that at one time. I'm like, yeah, you were that. And he goes, I go, hey, man, I'm sorry. He goes, no, I was an asshole. I'm like, I was an asshole too. So we had a fresh start, but that shit happens. So that guy that maybe under you or you're not driving with, later down the road, you may step into that door and you're going to be sitting there interviewing you.
Yep. Yeah, man. Default respectful, man. What would you say the hardest lesson you've learned in the EP game is, Aaron?
I had a lot of hard lessons. Never underestimate luggage. I have a luggage reconciliation, man. But the key thing is like you said, the hardest lessons when you screw up. Yeah. One thing is if you're receptive, that's never going to happen again. So ever. When I'm splitting up two clients and we're getting on one private plane and he's getting on the other, then my client goes, hey, can you grab my iPad? And I'm like, where's your bag? Then I'm scrambling, calling the car, and I look, and his bag's on that plane getting ready to go to Europe. And I had to run to the front desk, tell them to put that plane on hold. So he was on the taxiing. Jeez, dude. They had to stop, turn up. We had to run out, and I had to rip his bag out of the back compartment with them. Now, the client was pissed. My client was like, oh, you got my, he's like, oh, thanks. That's classic. I'm gonna get fired. Oh my goodness. Like, this is terrible. But yeah, he was like, oh, thanks. Appreciate you funding that. So
and he probably was like, you didn't have to do all that, but thank you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And there's like a spot. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, you'll make those mistakes, but it'll never happen again. So like now I'm a bloodhound. I have a full luggage reconciliation sheet with pictures and tags. I'm like, hey, snap pictures. And, if we're moving a lot of luggage, like your sole purpose in this life on this detail is to man those bags, So
yeah, man. It's funny how EP agents have this gear that they can switch on over the dumbest things when you messed up and you're like.
I hand it to L, dude. When we were out there, the wife took his bag on accident.
Yeah.
His speaking notes.
Uh-huh.
We're already halfway to meeting this venue that he's going to go on national TV. She has a speaking note. She's going the other direction. And there was no way. Like, there were two different meetings.
Like, this was happening in slow motion.
L's like, when you drop her off, I'm pin dropping an Uber. And he had that Uber stop, threw it in there. That Uber was 10, 15 minutes behind us. I'm like, that was the best, brilliant idea to solve an issue because they couldn't come back to us. They were already, going, and there's no way we could have turned around. I had no one else to even try to retrieve it. So he's like, just pin drop an Uber and call the driver. And I'm like that. And guess what? Got there, the client's got his notes. He went on national TV, did his bag like nothing happened.
Yep, that's EP, man. Making those plays, bro. Making those plays by the skin of your teeth, turning water into wine, spinning hay into gold. Client's like, oh, cool. It's a slow Tuesday. Thanks. And you're like,
I call it a skull sweat, dude, where you're just like, oh man, and just sitting there looking at the Uber or just, getting taxied down the runway.
It's so intense, bro. It's like the Truman Show, man. That's what it reminds me of, bro. The Truman Show. What would you say is your most like proudest moment in this game? Example of, or, like when did you do something and you're like, boom, that's what's up.
How long do you got? Just
my man.
No, man. The key thing is just there's always, I call them little victories.
Uh-huh.
Right? So little victories is getting just catering to my client, making sure things don't happen and they're seamless. And one of my clients, a pretty undaunting task was their TMZ had like a $200,000 bounty to get a picture of them at this location because they knew they were doing X, Y, and Z. So I did that whole trip without getting, I prevented paparazzi from that. So that was a big task. But the proud moment is just providing service, being a good person, being honest with your client, work well with others, and help others grow. So, and that's why I've put myself out there and I'm doing this Truth About Executive Protection because if people can't learn from others' mistakes, and we joke about it, we just talk about two monumental mistakes that could have been detrimental to our clients, right? But people are embarrassed to say they screwed up, but and live from that. That's why people are like, I don't touch luggage. I'm like, bro, that's the wrong answer. Luggage is one of the most important things. Like, especially when your client has, 5 Harry Winston tourbillon watches that are worth $1 million a piece. That bellman ain't touching that bag. That ain't in the lobby, So, but yeah, my thing right now, my proud moments right now is, what I'm doing on LinkedIn is getting relevant and real information out to those trying to break in the industry, those working in the industry. And I'm still, if we all did that, I think the industry would be a better place. We can find new ideas and ways to better service our clients and protect them and mitigate risk.
100%, dude. No, and this luggage thing that you mentioned, it's real, bro.
PowerPoint. PowerPoint.
It's so real, bro. Like you forget a bag. Forget to take a bag off the private. Just do it. Just try it once and see how your whole trip. Yo, luggage will end your life in this game. Like, and it's a science because bags come up missing like socks in the drying machine, man.
Well, we had we were on the strip, and I was with I was setting up a new team. We had some new guys, and there was always that one guy where the client decides to walk out, and we're actually at the MGM Mansions. Walk out, and I tell this story in training. Mm-hmm. So all the cars are staged at the Mansions. Walk around the strip. He sees Adidas. He walks in there, drops $30,000 in Adidas.
Oops.
I would probably say like 80 bags, right? And we had the family, so there was 4 of us there. And then I'm like, hey man, all this is just like, hey, start grabbing bags. And he goes, I don't carry bags.
Homie, wrong answer.
Yeah. So I go, hey man, before you tell me no, why don't you think and get on the phone and call the motorcade that's sitting right behind us at the Mansions, have them do a slow roll. We'll grab the bags and throw them in and be on our way. How about that?
Right.
Like, it's just like, it don't be that guy. Like, oh no, like, I've dug in trash. I've dug in trash bins. Like, in trying to find something that a client accidentally threw away in the hotel, and the hotel did it, and I'm digging through 200 rooms of just garbage to find something, And
oh man, I'm right there with you, bro. I've done all types of unspeakable.
You guys want to do this job? This job is going to be finding trash, hunting down bags,
hunting down cell phones, sweeping rooms. Oh yeah, man. Holding umbrellas sometimes, not holding umbrellas other times. You know what I'm saying? That's really EP stuff, bro. It's got to be a hashtag. That's really EP stuff, man. Putting car seats in, wiping baby vomit off the thing.
Yeah, it's just like, and every time they're sitting down having this lavish thing, dude, you're like, meal, check. And it's like Marine Corps style. You're just grubbing,
Like, yeah. So, give them the card before they even get you your food, just in case they just get up and leave,
So too, man. So when we talk about a lifestyle, right? And they're like, hey, this is a lifestyle. When you have a CEO, that powerhouse CEO that's working 12-hour days, that means you're working 16 to 18 hours a day.
Easy. Yep.
You have to be up and on it minimum 2 hours before your client. And when your client gets tucked in, then you're spending another 2 hours, prepping for the next day, getting vehicles cleaned and gassed up and coordinate, or running out and doing advances late at night. So we know the routes. So we've done that, right? After a 12-hour day, we're like, got to turn in. No, let's run this route. Let's run this route one more time. So
get up in and out. You know what I'm saying? And then run that route, baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, make a night of it, pimp. We've done it. No, it's the truth. What would you say, and this is one of the last few questions, what would you say to anyone who wants to get into executive protection? Message to those guys trying to break into the game.
Put yourself out there, network. Be open-minded, be humble. Whatever you learned in a school is a baseline. So you go through a 30-day program, which I agree 100%. Everyone's like, oh, the Secret Service or State Department model. No one goes in 12-man formations or 5-car motorcades. I'm like, well, actually, we do. But the thing is, you got to learn the big scale of things. So because you can scale down, it's harder to scale up. So once you learn that baseline, that's just a baseline, man. When you get into a detail, they're going to dictate on how their routine SOPs are. So it's just like, be open-minded and go like, well, I got to be next to the client. I'm like, if we're in a private meeting and we've already advanced it, there's no reason. And also too, defining space with the client will get you fired in a nanosecond. So understanding who your client is, if it's well known, and dictate that space. And for all you solo practitioners there, like, well, if I'm one guy, how do I do it? It's based off of risk. I'm going to float like a little satellite to cover any potential we're walking. If there's a corner that's dead space, I walk in front of them. I'm not behind them in the AIC because we've already passed through. So, get those skills, but let you know when you get on this detail, it's not what you probably will use in training. Your rivals and departures, some of your motorcade techniques, but just be open-minded and, shut your mouth, open your ears, listen, absorb, and find a mentor, man. Find a guy that can help build those steps. Like right now, if I tell everyone right now, if I'm mentoring 8,000 people that are on like executive protection lifestyle, my mentoring tip, get LinkedIn and get some solid training.
Get LinkedIn and get some solid training, is that what you said?
Soft skills training. Because you're not selling security, you're selling a service. So it's all about the pitch and how you converse, and if you can, have an intelligent conversation with a high-end client if one should arise. Know your client, know their hobbies, which saved me on I talked about it before, on a 3-hour flight. Like I knew he was into wine and whiskey, so that saved me. So I was able to shift that conversation to something I could that I'm passionate about, which is wine, and articulate and have a good conversation with him without looking like a knuckle dragger or whatever,
Yeah. Or like you're trying to kiss up to him. Yeah. You said a few things that were like ultra important, dude. Like, like time with the client close to the fire. It's like the most dangerous thing you can have. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to be on your game, son. And you really need, I suggest going back to episode 3 or 4 when I talk about 48 laws of power. There's just certain rules you just better abide by. You know what I'm saying? Because you step somewhere you didn't mean to step, and they're forever going to be like, yeah, and that guy likes the Lakers, and I hate the Lakers. You know what I mean? Like, there's just, it's a whole nother conversation. But yeah, the time you spend right next to your client, I'd say it's some of the most dangerous time you spend in this game, because social dynamics. The other aspects of the social dynamics is you got to be able to fit in with the team. Essentially what you said, what I'm saying, the social dynamics with the client and the social dynamics with your team. Don't act like you know everything. In fact, show up with an empty cup.
And I would agree with that 100%, man. And just be a sponge, because when you get on, you said at the beginning of this interview, you were talking about the dynamics that make every single detail different. And it was like threat level, culture, and something else. What was that? That was fire, bro.
Yeah. So, it's company culture. What we call it the ecosystem, company culture, the level of threat, the environment you're working in. Is it family? Because right now, you're doing your job.
Right.
When you don't have to be around the client. I call it onion layer. I call it like the security bubble, but I'd rather. So it's like, hey, if we're in an area, I got this piece locked down. So guess what? I don't even have to be near the client.
Right.
Their freedom, their space. They don't feel like they're being, overwhelmed. You're doing your job well. And and if you're on a detail working for a team, there's that long game of not the client really knowing who you are, but knowing your face when they roll up and they're getting out, they're kind of lost, and they see you, they go, "Oh, there's Aaron."
Follow that guy.
So it's like, have that professional space. So big tip is be friendly, but don't be friends.
Boom. Be friendly, but don't be friends. Don't be a bodyguard. What is it? Be close enough to protect, but not close enough to be introduced.
It depends on your client, but like if we take 100, the Fortune 100 CEO list, and I put it up there, people won't even recognize probably 90% of them.
Right.
It's not assuming doom unless they're big in, if they're very recognizable, that's a different thing. But most of the time I've had clients, billionaires that no one knows who they are. I'm just there to mitigate risk, to make sure they're not getting lost, getting point A to point B. And if they need anything, we're there. Right. So
exactly.
There's that big difference. Now, when we do work with some of our clients and they're big in,
on their face client.
And then they do a live feed.
Now that's something that, how do you deal with that?
Oh, please.
Misinformation everywhere. And it's like, what's that movie Pitch Black, when like they turn the lights on and people are like, and all the little creatures are like coming towards the client and they're like looking over, and it's just, yeah, man.
So sometimes, that media comes from your client. He's going to live his life, do his thing. So now you're just like, great. Now,
here we go.
100,000 people that are going to see him speak tomorrow know where he stands. So now we're really on point, because we're going to tell him, okay, we got to switch hotels.
Yeah. No, you're not.
You got to be on point. Now you got to do your job. Now now I'm not having breakfast in my room. I'm having it down in the lobby, seeing what's going on, doing my patrols. So a lot of you guys, when you're getting in hotels, a lot of guys are like, clients in this room, I'm good, I'm hanging out. No, like I get up there early in the morning, I do a patrol around the hotel, and find that baseline of what's
normal.
Yeah, what's normal, so we can do our jobs, So it doesn't, it never stops just because the client's in the room.
Yeah, 100%. Nah, man, that's what's up. That's good gouge for now, brother. But yeah, man, just summing up this whole branding thing though, man. Yeah, put yourself out there on LinkedIn if you're not a big social media guy. That LinkedIn is your online resume, there's something to be said for the quiet professional. I dig it. I respect it. If that's your thing, that's your thing. I think now the guys that are going to have first pick of a lot of the litters are going to be the ones that can do this first branding piece right, do it well, which is get your digital resume ready, get on LinkedIn, make yourself look professional, showcase different skill sets that are applicable to a wider array of things that are more relevant to executive protection rather than PSD or military or whatever you're hunting for. Remember that what you put out is what you're going to get back,
And if you're, you work, PSD in a high threat environment, you have a cool guy gun pick, right?
Yeah.
If that's your environment that you're working in, you're going after, that's fine. But if you're trying to transition into corporate or private sector protection, that is not, that's too aggressive. It's too military. And for a lot of you, like the new corporate space in realm is completely different than EP. Executive protection is not what it was in the 80s and 90s. Like,
no.
We're progressing. Companies are very more aware of their culture within their organization, and you have to blend in and jive with that 100%.
Yeah, 100%. And you want to get some eyeballs, go on ahead and go to the places where people are in your industry. Go to some EP groups, get an executive protection lifestyle group. It's the largest, fastest growing EP group on Facebook right now, I believe. And get in there, like, comment, share things, demonstrate value, ask intelligent questions, show up on other people's content, ask them intelligent questions, and just show that you're interested and you're all about this life, and, I think that's like really a great starting point for building a brand in a professional way in this game.
Knowledge drop, dude. That's knowledge.
Solid.
I mean, you're doing good, bro. This is great. People, I know they're getting a lot of takeaways from it, from messages, and so keep up the drive, dude. I appreciate you having me on and doing this. So we can get on again, because I think the next one later on I want to talk about advances. We can.
Hey yo. Yeah, Aaron's been our advanced guy for a while on one of my details, and he does some solid trash. So we're going to have him back on for that for sure. Yo, where can they find you, bro? And what are you up to now? You kind of talked about that, but where can they find you? Where are you sending everyone?
From the EP stuff, just go to my LinkedIn, because that's my professional page. My Facebook page is kind of like my personal life and all that stuff. And I'll still get messages, but when you message me on Facebook, it goes to my other box, and a lot of times I don't see it. So connect with me on LinkedIn. When you connect with me, and see the stuff that I'm posting, all EP related. And also, if you do have questions, I do post in, obviously, executive protection lifestyle. So you can put your comments in there. But the key thing is, like, my network right now, if you connect with me, then you can see the 8,000 security professionals and practitioners that I'm connected with internationally. So
that's what's up, man. That's where it's at. I'm going to go look at your LinkedIn page and make sure it's tight. And probably get some ideas for upgrading mine, too, at the same time, bro.
I got to update. I got to do a summary, too. That's one of the last things. But I think I have, like, a platinum-rated account, because I've written so many articles, and write what write what you're passionate about. So it's like, because right now, like, if I went into, writing about wines, that can maybe give people ideas, or they can read stuff to help if they do get ask a question about a client about, wine or whatever. So even if you're a security guy, write about your passion. If it's mountain climbing, all that stuff, that's write about it.
Yeah. And it's good to write about stuff outside of you don't have to just write about EP, showing that you're a well-rounded person is also good. So boom, Aaron, it's been an honor having you on here, man. Thanks so much for your time, brother. Looking forward to catching up with you on the next detail, brother.
You got it, bro.
Boom. And to support this podcast, go to executiveprotectionlifestyle.com and contribute to our Patreon account. That Patreon account is what helps me make this podcast possible, contributing to this brand, what we're doing here, making it so that I can bring better guests on, making it so that we can plan more events, and just expand the contribution to the private security industry, and also to making America a safer place by teaching people how to protect themselves and the mindset behind that, the lifestyle behind that. You guys are already killing it. $1 a month, $5 a month, $10 a month, $20 a month, whatever you can do that you would probably just lose in the mattress anyway, or spend on McDonald's. Hey, you want to put it towards something that's going to good use, put it towards a podcast, and get involved in our Patreon account at executiveprotectionlifestyle.com. And if you want to find me, that's byronrogersmotivation.com. Do whatever you can, contribute whatever you can to that Patreon account, because it makes all of these things possible, ladies and gentlemen. So much love. Thank you, and thank you for making those contributions. You guys rock. We're already doing amazing there, and it's just because of you guys. So thanks once again for those contributions. Boom. I hope you guys enjoyed that episode of Executive Protection Lifestyle Podcast. This whole entire thing actually just started off as a Facebook group that blew up and is one of the fastest growing, if not the fastest growing, executive protection Facebook group online. So if you haven't joined the Facebook group, join the Facebook group. Follow us on Instagram and check us out at Executive Protection Lifestyle. byronrodgersmotivation.com. If you want to find me, that's byronrodgersmotivation.com. And I'm on all the social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook as well. So until the next podcast, y'all, stay sharp out there. And as I say it, one mind, many weapons. Talk soon. Out.